So we're live again for the second day in a row, actually. Technically speaking. So it is Monday night and it is 11:30 and it is time for yet another edition of the weekly hodgepodge of professional wrestling here on the Popcast Network. This is the Monday Wrestling Podcast. My name is Owen. I am your moderator for this evening, as always, because I tapped out on Raw many moons ago. But we'll see what happens. There's some interesting things that I saw that kind of intrigued me. Not sure exactly where we're headed. Obviously, I'm sure you guys that know me know exactly what I'm trying to say. So as always, I'm joined by the true voice of wrestling here on the network, and that is Ashley.
All the intriguings.
Indeed.
All the intriguings.
And of course, we're getting to All In Weekend, which we'll be covering next week. We will be live baby, live for All In. Why? Because that's how things work. It's going to be a long night. Because not only do I have to do All In, I actually have to be. That's the reason why we're going live, is because I have to run in the morning on Sunday. So, yes, that's the reason why we're going live on Saturday night. Because this is an important show. And given the fact that we are, to my knowledge, the only podcast that actually devoted an entire segment to when Cody had the list and was talking about all his indie dates, it makes perfect sense that we're going to be all in for the event.
I'm just there for Shivani.
Someone's going to be sending me links. Don't know how. Somebody's going to be sending me links because I want to see this stuff for myself.
Good for you.
We got a lot of stuff going on tonight, and it's not just All In. All In is obviously this weekend, so we've got that. That's the big deal right now. That's the next big thing that's going on. But of course, we have stuff to talk about with Raw, SmackDown, with NXT results. We also have the NXT UK shows, including the crowning of the first ever United Kingdom Women's Champion, which happened earlier today. We'll talk about that. We're going to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have Ring of Honor news. We've got UFC, Impact, Lucha Underground, a little bit of everything. All of this and more tonight on the Monday Wrestling Podcast. So as always, we're going to kick this show off with Raw because Raw just ended, so it makes sense to actually start it off with Raw. So, Ashley, what's going on?
Well, an eventful show. And I don't know whether for the good or for bad.
We'll see.
So we open up with and whatever. She's always good. Basically, from what I can tell, from the pre-show or whatever, I guess Reigns called out Strowman because of what happened last week.
Okay.
And if the Meat Shack don't come out here, it'll be the Shield Workhouse Open Challenge. So Strowman comes out and says, you know, if it weren't for your boys, you know, I'd been a good chance, you know, get these hands and all that. And so then Reigns is like, okay, you got the briefcase. Why don't we have a fight for the title right now? Strowman goes, no. You know, if I did it tonight, right now, your boys would just come in and save you like last week. So I'm making you a deal. I'm not cashing in until September 16th. All you got to do is show up to the place that your brothers can't interfere. Because we're going to war in a place that we haven't gone before. I'm cashing in at Hell in a Cell. So for the first time since, 2011?
Yeah.
with Cena that we've had a stated cash in, not an opportune cash in and whatever. Then Ziggler and Drew come out and goes, "It's not your time anymore, guys. It's our time. We want a match." Well, yeah, no. Basically, it's like you may be at the top of the mountain now, but the only way for you to go is down. And then Reigns is just like, "Okay, let's have a fight." So here comes Corbin, acting GM as he is now, and goes, "This is the reason Angle was sent on vacation." You know what? I'm going to do something that Kurt could never do. One, Braun, you are going to be cashing in and defending or challenging Roman for the title. And two, I'm going to do a main event of Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, despite the fact that they basically set it up themselves. So that's all nice and all. And Strowman basically goes, "Tonight, Dolph and Drew are going to get these hands." And then Corbin goes, I'm already improvement over Kurt. And for the most important match, I'm going to make one that Angle didn't have the guts to make. It'll be Corbin versus Balor, the man, not the demon. I've had weeks to prepare for this. Balor just found out. And the match is happening right now. And then nothing happens. So Corbin goes, "Oh, better get ready and put your jacket on and get out here." And then the music happens. I think that was WWE's dig at, "Play my fucking music. People in the back, play my fucking music." We'll get to that. So Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor. I don't give a fuck because I've seen this too many fucking times.
Yep.
Except Corbin smacks him in the midsection with a steel chair. So Balor wins by DQ, but Corbin grabs a mic and goes, "Oh, sorry, with all these jobs that I got going on, that as the acting GM, I forgot to mention that this is a no DQ match." Corbin smacks him with a chair, hits him with the end of days, and Baron Corbin wins.
Yay, 50-50 booking.
A guy that does rest holds all the fucking time, can barely talk, and has the wrestling skill of Mae Young as she is now, dead.
To be fair, though, I mean, the one thing you can say about Corbin is the fact that even though it doesn't really shine when he's working or when he's talking as Baron Corbin, he did show a lot of personality before, but he's not really shown it to his character, sadly.
You'd have thought in an authority style role, in power, this had come out.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't.
Yeah.
Because, he's stupid.
Apparently, Angle is in training for at least one more match, so that's the reason why he's not on television right now.
So now we've got to hype up fucking Australia.
Because reasons.
Legends giving their thoughts on the match. And apparently Shawn Michaels will be on Raw next week to address it. Why are we pushing this thing that nobody's going to fucking watch on the network? Because it's legit going to be at like 4 a.m.
That's what we call on demand.
Yeah, but they want people watching it live.
No, that's not going to happen.
Exactly. They're doing all this pushing just for ticket sales clearly over there.
Yep, that makes sense.
And Dana Brooks backstage with Titus Worldwide saying she wants to win a match tonight to prove that she can be on the Evolution pay-per-view. And then Titus comes in and says, "Good luck. You got a match against Sasha Banks." And then, admittedly, Cruz comes up with the knowledge here. What are you thinking? She's had one singles match in the last 9 months. And I'm going, you clearly don't watch main events, son.
They're too busy on it.
Sasha Banks come out and she's smiling. The fucking clues are there, everybody. Guess what? Sasha fucking wins with a bank statement because she's smiling. I never noticed it until quite a few people, Mike Tedesco on WrestleView and Matthew as well,
Right.
via the Cultaholic podcast. Sasha has a losing face and a winning face. Like, if you look last week when she came out for her It's Boss Time intro and all that, she was sort of looking unhappy and grumpy. Tonight, she was all happy and smiling and everything. So what I'm hoping now is Sasha's on every single pay-per-view, and the way her face looks is going to tell the people that are doing the betting to fucking close the betting now before anybody comes in and goes, oh, I think she's going to lose 500 to 1.
Wow.
Every time. I didn't give a fuck. In unrelated news, is he somehow a fucking wrestling champion? By doing a Stone Cold Stunner, despite not having any purchase on the ground in order to be able to do the Stunner.
Random.
This is wrestling, everybody.
Of course.
Wrestling isn't wrestling. So Dean's backstage and Jinder and Sunil come in and goes, you know, there's been a lot of tension, so teaching you how to meditate. And Ambrose is meditating goes, I see you. I see me. I see me breaking your teeth. Smashing your face. Breaking your ribs. And during all this, Jinder's sort of like wincing and whatever. So I don't get it. Then Seth comes out and goes, you know, I was all ready to sort of deal with some more family business and all that. But I guess this week it's about intercontinental title business. I figured I'd have to face Ziggler or Drew, but they're busy. So how about an IC title open challenge? Here comes Kevin. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're feeling good. You got your buddies back, your title, and your cross. You're on top of the world. And since I've been back here, my life's been a living hell. Every week I was on SmackDown. I wish they would come back to Raw. And now that I'm back, things should be good, but they aren't. I had a good SummerSlam. You know, you had a good SummerSlam, Seth. But you had your best friend by your side. If Sammy was with me, I'd have beaten Strowman and I'd have been Universal Champion right now. Sammy's at home, so I'm not the champ. And he was injured by a brute. You know, the summer is not over and he's not leaving this building without a title. This is Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I cannot think of a better place. Oh, wait, no, there is a better place, Montreal, Quebec. And then he does some Quebecois at them. They're booing. He said something to do with a T-shirt, I guess, because I guess something along the lines of he hasn't got a special T-shirt for him this year because basically the Shield's got some sort of special shirt for them instead. They have a great match. Very Tyler Black versus Kevin Steen, which, as you'd expect, fantastic little match. Running with the stomp and all that. And he nods his head in respect to him as well and everything. So then Baron Corbin's office and Braun Strowman comes in and giving him the briefcase to be, you know, basically that's the sort of official cash-in. And then Kevin's sitting on a steel chair in the middle of the ring, devastated, and just looks up at the camera and goes, I quit. walks to the back with his black tape and goes through the side, avoiding the gorilla position. I swear, I know why this has happened. This is WWE trying to bait the marks, going, oh, Kevin Owens is going to be all in, but he actually isn't.
I mean, if that's really the direction they're going, that's a really feeble way.
This is to counteract the hiding of the fact that Neville is now no longer under contract and he might be all in.
There's no might. I'm pretty sure it's a guarantee at this point.
Well, I don't think it's been confirmed.
It doesn't have to be confirmed. I think it's something they're gonna hold back. He's just gonna show up on Saturday night. I mean, I'll go with Dave's idea here, and I completely concur with it. I think it would be great if like Cody could just flips like, okay, fine. I'm at the point now. I'll do whatever it takes to get in the show. Do you have anything for me? And Cody's like, well, we could make it a janitor, or they could play that up, or everything like that. But I got a better idea. And then he's someone like Matt or Nick or even Marty Scurll could like whisper something in his ear, and then all of a sudden Cody could just like smile evilly and like, okay, fine, you got a match, but you're not going to find your opponent out until bell time. So you have to prepare for a match at All In, which is what you wanted, but you have no idea who you're facing. And we get Flip Gordon versus Pac, and that's the match at All In. And that starts the show.
Well, no, because they've already announced that Janela and Hangman Page is opening the show.
Things can change.
Because somehow we've got to bring, somehow we've got to bring him back from the dead. Yeah. Got to bring Joey back from the dead. And all that.
I mean, it's a way to do it if they really want to go that route. And they don't really have to announce Pac for the show at all. But him and Flip would be a great match. Actually, I'll be honest, him and Flip would be a great match for the pay-per-view. Him and Flip would be a great way to headline the WGN portion of All In, too. The 0 hour.
No, they won't put that on free TV. Jeez. Don't give him the good stuff.
Oh.
Keep in mind as well, we'll go like through the full card and everything, but there are some doubts about Nick.
Yeah, he's kind of battling a virus.
Major old flu. Major old super flu. So I'm wondering whether
Flip takes his spot.
Make it even more of a dream match for either Flip or Pac.
That'd be good.
Because if Flip is already booked for whatever, there's a certain opportunity there.
What are the surprises? You have Matt and Ibushi teaming up with Jericho in the main event. And Jericho's all in and no one knew it.
I mean, considering how desperate he is for the bloody cruise to go well. The amount of stuff that he's been doing with Ring of Honor, because obviously they're part of the cruise stuff and everything.
And he'll work Impact in 2000. If it's not 2018, it'll definitely be 2019. Please, Jericho, work Impact when you come back to Orlando next year.
Now I need to quickly look at Fozzie's tour schedule.
Card subject change.
I doubt it. They actually are. Wow, they're doing gigs like every night, so he isn't going to be doing it. Merriam, Kansas, I believe it is, that he's on September 1st. So he's already busy. Yeah, show starts at 7 p.m. So he can't do that. And to be honest, there's a lot of space September as well, which makes me wonder how the hell he'd be able to do any sort of run-ins at any of the New Japan shows.
It's like Transformers is more than meets the eye. Oh my god. So chat is blowing up as always. One Triple S and Hyro. My apologies for not getting to it. I'm awake. I didn't get a chance to check. I was waiting for Ashley to breathe for a second. Hyro says,
Okay.
it's good though.
No, I'm just looking. September 17th is when a New Japan show is happening when he isn't doing anything.
Oh, okay.
And September 23rd, there's a 2-space gig between Greenville, South Carolina and Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
And then on the 30th as well, he'd be free after doing a gig at Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The interesting thing, though, Power Struggle, the next big show on October 6th, or no, sorry, that's King of Pro Wrestling. Power Struggle's November. October 6th, he's doing a gig in New Jersey. So he ain't doing that. But there is a giant gap between October the 6th and November the 7th. So maybe, well, some of that will obviously be the cruise, but then they've got the November 3rd, which I think that is Power Struggle. So maybe that's where the title defense happens. If they want to do it like that. Oh, shit. Jericho's going to be at the Orpheum on 28th.
So we've got Hyro says, honestly, this bad booking, I think Roman's retaining. Yeah,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
They booked Braun to get over, turning face, then heel again. This TNA stuff, like Eddie being heel, then the next day going to face, just like a face going after Aries.
You're ruining my stuff, guys.
I'm trying to find. Okay, hold on.
Let's try and grovel through it.
I want to get done in less than 3 hours tonight. That's what I want.
I know.
We know that WWE has been booking Braun really strong, like teasing him with the Saudi Arabia belt, winning Money in the Bank, and then defending the contract. This is BS if Braun loses. One Triple S also says you don't like Logan Paul and probably didn't see the fight, but what's your idea on it?
It was a decent fight. People got in their hissy fit because they don't know how boxing rules go. You know, one judge gave it 58-57, the other gave it a draw. Therefore, add the numbers up, KSI won. No, that ain't how it works.
I can honestly tell you I have no idea what's going on with this.
KSI and Logan Paul had a fight at Manchester Arena.
Who's KSI?
YouTubers.
I know Logan Paul, he's a tool. I don't know who KSI is.
Keep in mind, nearly 800,000 people paid $10 for that on YouTube.
Why?
Because they wanted to see it. They even had Michael Buffer doing the ring announcing.
Oh my god.
Jake Paul was impressive against Deji, which are the brothers of each of them. I did feel sorry for Deji because you could sort of see it was sort of like a Rocky situation. Like he wanted to fight and kept going, but his corner sort of rightfully threw in the towel and whatever.
Right.
You know, I could see the actual heart there. And then it was just a really good fight in the main event. I don't know what happened on the undercard because I only made it back in time to be able to see the end of the fight and the main event, which apparently a load of people are pissed off at because there were like hundreds of thousands of people watching it on Twitch. Which, when I guess because I wasn't following the channels that were doing it, I never noticed it. But it was a decent 6-round amateur fight, although it did sort of get like weird at the end. But overall, yeah, I do find it a little bit sort of like, oh look, it went to a draw. They're going to have a rematch in America where they'll charge more. And it's just like, yeah, fuck.
Let's see what else we got.
I'm
Once
more
your wife
hyped for Triple G and Canelo in a few weeks.
any chance? Okay, hold on. Now we get Walter versus Kevin Steen, and not anytime soon.
No.
Kevin Owens
Note
is
to everybody: you should probably go and watch Defiant Wrestling's Stacked. Was it tonight? It was last night, but it aired tonight. The match between Osprey and Volta. Holy shit, that was a good one.
Let's see what else we got. Oh my goodness. So what was Owens has been losing a lot of his matches lately. When was his last big win that wasn't a jobber?
I don't know.
It's been a while, sadly.
It's been a while, yeah.
Response for chat. Hyra says, never heard of Joey Janela. Not in Wikipedia.
Wait, what?
Apparently Hyra's never heard of Joey Janela.
Sorry, I'm just disappointed that there isn't a Joey Janela Wikipedia.
There has to be.
No. Go to fucking Cage Match instead.
Yeah, it's Cage Match or
If
Pro Wrestling.wiki.
If you want your wrestling info, Cage Match or ProWrestlingWikia.com.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling
ProWrestling.wikia.com.
Yeah.
Hell, there's even an ESPN article about him.
Random. Any chance All In's going to be illegally streamed on Twitch? There's got to be somebody willing to try.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're probably even going to try and do it on YouTube. You know, the amount of times you see somebody having a mirror on their bloody sofa behind them, so it's like, yeah, that's the stuff. Honest, like, great job, guys. Not actually a great job at all.
Indeed. So what else we got? A little bit more questions. So Pac on Impact defeats Brian Button.
No, oh god, don't get me started on fucking Impact. Oh, we'll get to that.
If Jericho was on Impact, do you think he'd tell Vince? I don't think he cares anymore, to be quite honest.
Considering seeing, you know, if you heard some of the interview that he did on Talk is Jericho with the guys, Vince openly said, why are the guys choosing August, September? That's one of the worst times to organize a pay-per-view. Really? It sold out, didn't it?
Yeah, no lie. Okay. And last but certainly not least, honestly, Ashley, thank you about your opinion. Everyone doesn't know boxing. KSI didn't dominate. They're just unbiased. Logan did good for only 5 months when KSI had 9 months. YouTubers just say KSI clearly won.
And all that.
All right. And we move on to the rest of Raw.
B-Team and Revival went at it.
This non-title?
Revival, yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure because I was watching it with no sound.
Winning. Oh, that's why you don't read the dirt sheet, kids. Apparently, Undertaker's going to be on Raw next week as well. But you're not supposed to know that. You'd have thought the people that would have the info on that would be Fightful, considering I had the entire sort of script as usual tonight from those guys. Can't even find the results as to what actually happened with that Defiant Wrestling. So I guess nobody gives a shit. Revival got the win with the Shatter Machine, and then afterwards, you know, they got the mics, picked up the titles, and said, you know, the tag division has been a complete joke over the last few months because of these B-team guys. You know, sick or tired of these morons making a mockery of the sacred history of tag team wrestling. Hold the belts for as long as you want because we prove we can take them away anytime we want. Top guys out. Which is decent, but it's just like, Revival. If Revival are like the actual proper wrestler's choice, I can't make any jokes about guns because of what happened this fucking weekend, but it's not like the Revival is the best choice. Probably Dean and Seth would be the best choice, wouldn't it? I'd have thought.
Yeah. Hyro says.
Then the announcement that did come earlier today, I just want to get this out here first. SummerSlam is going to be in Toronto.
That's
2019.
cool.
For NXT Toronto 2, I guess? Would they classify it as that? Or well, no, because I guess it was technically called War Games last year, so technically they could just call it NXT TakeOver Toronto, couldn't they?
Good.
What was Hyro saying?
Hyro saying I think Jericho respects Jericho. How are they going to make a Revival look strong when they probably are going to get squashed by AOP because clearly they're next? Don't remind me. They don't deserve this spot. I hate the Authors of Pain. You think Impact is going to pay Jericho well because it's been a while since they spent a lot of money on talent? Yeah, I think they'll spend out the yin-yang to get Jericho, and that's just smart. But
yeah,
Jericho
but they're also going to be idiot. Let's be honest.
Well, Jericho could always get do it for less money as a favor to Don Callis too. It depends.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think we'll see Chris Jericho in an Impact ring somewhere between now and the middle of 2019. I'm fairly confident about that.
So then we get to Elias, who's about to sing his song, and Drake saying, going from New York to Toronto is a big disappointment and stuff. And then Trish Stratus shows up.
Well, it's Toronto. It makes sense.
Yeah. But then at this point, I'm going, oh, God, they're doing this ticket for Evolution never sold. So they're having to... You notice the problem here, Owen?
There's a lot of problems, Ashley.
No, we're plugging Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
But we're also plugging Australia. But we're also plugging Evolution.
That's too much to plug at the same time.
Which one am I supposed to fucking care about?
Can I answer with none of the above? Because I have more important things to do.
Well, no, it's all of them, but let them have their chance to shine.
I agree with that.
I know you have to do story progression after Australia, but let the women... I mean, if you're ballsy enough, dedicate the last hour of just women's wrestling for those 3 weeks. Because if you say that nobody watches the third hour of Raw, put the women on it and see if the women actually stay on because they're not interested in the sport. It'd be an interesting thing to try.
It's trial and error. It's a possibility. If they really want to go with it, they're more than welcome to. We have seen main events of women's wrestling on Raw, so.
And Elias is like, oh, it's nice you took a minute away from changing diapers to do something important and get in the ring with me. The Strata goes, look, you got good music, but you wouldn't start running your mouth about my hometown, cheap pop. Silence your cell phones, hold the applause, and shut your mouth, Elias. And then it's like, hey, my performance in Toronto is like the Stanley Cup. They'll never see it in their lifetimes. And she goes, oh, kind of like you winning a WWE title. When she retired as a 7-time women's champ here in Toronto with a sharpshooter and took her place in the Hall of Fame, she never would imagine that there'd be an all-women's pay-per-view. But in a few months, she'll be in this ring, lacing up her boots to take on Alexa Bliss. And of course, Elias goes, "Oh, this will be like a swimsuit model pillar fight. I've been waiting for years for that." And I'm like, why are we doing this? Not all men are misogynists. I don't want to make a joke about Trump wishing Vince a happy birthday, but there you go. And Elias is basically going, you're just like thousands of other women that want to walk with me, but I don't date women in their 60s. Hang on. Trish Stratus. She's 42.
Huh.
How the fuck are we making out that she's in her 60s?
No idea.
I don't get it. I mean, she's like, if that line was used in like 10 years' time when she's in her sort of early to mid 50s, it would make sense. But it's like, no. Although, come to think of it, that now means that when she was around with like TNA back in 99, 2000, she was only like 23 or 24. So from a relatively young age, at least for the women before they, because they came in just for looks rather than wrestling talent. Then Ronda comes out and Natalia, and they're all in the ring. And then Alexa and Alicia come out and says, "Wow, it's a Raw moment with Miss Overrated, Natty, Miss Overhyped, Rousey, and Miss Irrelevant, which is Trish. Now, all that yoga and stretching isn't going to help you with the beating that you'll get at Evolution. Oh, and as for you, Ronda, I'm invoking my rematch clause at Hell in a Cell. Oh, what, you thought I was going to invoke my rematch here in Canada? Nah. I don't like your accent. Tonight it's all about Alicia Fox. And then Natalia's going to get beat down. We have friends as well, and one that Trish knows all too well, and then out comes Mickie James, and they're trying to make a big thing out of it when it's like, why the fuck should I care now about Mickie James and Trish Stratus when you've already announced Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus? Also, it's like, oh, I'm going to have the upper hand because I'm getting my rematch at Hell in a Cell. I'm guessing it's not going to be a Hell in a Cell match because otherwise, wait. You want a rematch with Ronda Rousey inside a cage? Logic?
Oh boy.
Whew, what's Ronda been known for doing the past 5 years? Fighting in cages. Okay, they ain't got a roof on them, but... Anyway, Natalia wins with a sharpshooter. And then gives a salute to Jim. And nearly cries. Just about holds on, but... Nice little moment. Sadly, it had to mean that Alicia Fox got buried. Oh, wait, was I sad? No. Then... Oh, God. I missed this bit because I had to go downstairs for something. The faces are backstage, except here come the Bella Twins. Because the Bella Twins are back in action next week on Raw, and I'm going, okay. Why the hell is Brie Bella on Raw next week when you thought she'd be on SmackDown because of what's going on with Miz and Maurice? Huh? Then more video package of legends, and then more Shawn Michaels. And Corbin's talking to Steph on the phone. I'll figure out what's going on with Kevin. So even Stephanie is confused as to what happened, apparently. And then the stagehand comes in and Corbin's going, get the masseur in here pronto. It's like, if Stephanie sees what's happening here, she might have second thoughts. I don't know. And Lashley comes in and goes, yeah, I've got a match for you tonight, but I forgot who it's against. But you'll find out because your match is next. And he goes to the ring and goes, look, it's been a bit crazy as my first night as acting GM, but I realised I can't come up with the name of who you're facing because it's not one person. It's two people. It's a handicap match. Here comes the Ascension. Lashley wins. Who gives a fuck? Jinder versus Dean Ambrose. Neither man gets fucking entrances. Huh? Dean wins with Dirty Deeds and hurries pretty quickly to the back for some reason. And then Roman and Strowman are backstage, and I know you don't like me, I don't like you, but together we'll destroy Ziggler and McIntyre, and then you can have 20 days to prepare, Roman, for me to take your title. And Reigns goes, oh, I'll wake up on day 21 and you'll realize that you couldn't get it done. But yeah, the Bella Twins are facing the Riot Squad next week. Oh, and also Revival versus B Team for the Raw Tag Team titles. And Shawn Michaels. Have I said Shawn Michaels enough? Fucking hell. So this starts at 3 minutes past the end of the show. Main event. And Reigns gets beaten down on. Strowman sort of comes in to try and make the save here and there. And then Strowman manages to get the hot tag. And Drew gets the hot tag as well, and he's looking nervous, and he stands on the apron staring. Ziggler and Drew drag Roman into the center of the ring and beat down on him, and Strowman's just staring and not doing anything. And then the referee calls for a DQ. So Roman and Braun win because of the heels doing what they do. So then Strowman basically gets in the ring, stares at the heels, looks at Reigns and goes, I'm not finished with you. Takes him out. Dean Ambrose comes out. He gets taken out. Seth comes out. He gets taken out. Running power slam to Seth. Running power slam to Dean. And then with a pickup from Drew, Strowman hits Reigns with a running power slam. And the heels celebrate. The way that they were presenting this in terms of presentation and from the ring announcing, they are adamant that Braun is now heel. This has me now fearing what the fuck is going to happen tomorrow in terms of Becky Lynch. Because if they don't try and do a U-turn on this, boy, they better be watching out. Overall, in all honesty, just for Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, it was a good show. In all honesty. I approve. There was a few things that I was a little bit doubtful about, though. But that match alone is just worth seeing. So, again, like with the Defiant one being Volta and Ospreay's like match that's worth the show alone. Except, obviously, with the Defiant stuff, you have to pay to actually see it. Whereas you'll be able to watch it on fucking YouTube with WWE Raw. Well, if there is some way you can find them a full match online, because obviously WWE won't do it until like this time next year, it'll be worth it. I suggest. What have we got in the comments?
Let's see. So, what we have. More. Oh, Lord. Okay.
Hyro saying, well, it goes from Hyro saying, I meant to say Jericho respects Vince and their relationship. That's why his match in the Cruise isn't televised. Yeah, but all the other New Japan stuff's televised. Technically.
WWE doesn't like Elias wrestling.
I think they do. Because in all honesty, Elias is much better all round at the minute than Baron Corbin is. They
Very
keep
true.
pushing him.
See what we got here. I don't think Super Showdown doesn't matter. It's just another big televised house show. Yeah, pretty much.
It does matter. The amount of fucking publicity they're doing it clearly does matter. Any chance we see Awesome Kong and Evolution? Probably not.
No.
I mean, if they wanted to tie it in with Glow, but that seems to have just been buried. Especially if they're going to be busy doing the whole... Because I don't know when they're going to start filming Season 3.
Right.
I'm guessing it'd be somewhat soon, depending when it'd get put on.
2007 to 2011 is really bad for the women's division. If they want to say Trish is old, then Vince is 100, but he's 73. Hyro says that Vince is too old to realize he's been working on the same demographic. Can we see Ronda and Cyborg, Hell in a Cell? No. Even though Ronda would agree to win.
No, well, keep in mind we're getting Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes at the end of the year. They announced that for the UFC pay-per-view on December 29th. Should be a damn good scale of super fight. It's not exactly a super fight, but it's sort of on that level.
Brie is a free agent like Cena. If they want to keep mentioning Cena as a free agent, put him in NXT. That'd be interesting.
Keep in mind, Cena's busy. Well, Cena's definitely busy this week because he's going to, I think, China and Japan.
Right.
I know he's doing the China show, literally same day as All In. But then again, because of the time difference, that'll be in the daytime beforehand. So we'll be able to get reports from China as to what the sixth move of Doom is. Maybe.
Dean looks smaller. He doesn't look jacked when he returns.
Well, good, because the jacked was a bit of a problem.
Bella should just retire. It was terrible when Nikki won the Divas belt by Brie kissing AJ. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was when creative was in its hole. As previously said by One Triple S, that period after Lita and Trish, right through to probably arguably that NXT women's thing, dead doldrum of creative stuff.
Braun being heel is better than Killer Cross, aligning himself with Aries with no reason.
Well, no, because Aries is a heel, and we've already established that Killer Cross is a heel, so there is an actual reason for that. Braun has got over genetically with the crowd.
So that's
the
why
past few months. Why turn him heel? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Hyro says, honestly, my favorite main roster pay-per-view looking forward is Survivor Series. And Jericho said he wouldn't work in the States, and that's why he declined All In. I think every day he's kind of softening on that. And all the hype with the title matches and the Greatest Royal Rumble was hyped, and no changes like a house show probably won't matter. Pretty much. From a grand standpoint, I think it probably won't.
You see, Jericho knows whatever he actually does, he's going in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, of course.
So he's sort of got that protection anyway.
That's
In
a fair
this day
point.
and age, nobody is going to be persona non grata, especially if, if they burn the bridges, it's not a wise thing to do.
Very true.
So
And
yeah,
that's
with all, might as well quickly mention with all then. If I can actually find the notes, Brandon Cutler and Punishment Martinez are in the Battle Royal.
yep.
So we got 11 in there now, and whatever.
Want to run down the order of who we've got?
No, I'll be coming up later. I'm just mentioning that because as a news story, because I'm trying to transition to what I was getting to load up. Because I want to do this next, because I want to cover what happened next. English. Lucha Underground. For various reasons. So, Melissa is backstage doing her makeup, talking with Dragon Azteca Jr., saying that Phoenix is alive in her heart. And the more she grieves, that means the more that she loved. And Melissa leaves and whatever. So then we start off with the Macamil Muertes in the Haunted House match. Basically, it's just sort of a weapon style hardcore match, which was very good, and Mill actually getting the win with a super flatliner for a table and all that. And there was also more going on between, because what happened is Katrina came out with Muertes and was unhappy at Melissa for not giving her the proper sort of introduction, said that she was a bitch. Melissa refused to do another introduction, and Katrina slammed her into the cage and braked a vase over her head, resulting in your boy Famous B in a wheelchair to do the ring announcing. And oh fuck, look who it is. It's bloody Jake Strong taking on Aerostar, with Jake Strong getting the win in sort of 2 minutes and change. And then he's going to try and break his leg, and Drago comes out to make the save. So now Worldwide Underground are backstage, and they're all giving Johnny and Ty gifts. Ty gives Johnny a picture of himself with the title. Ty gets him a title match also 1 week after the wedding as another gift. And Johnny goes, "Oh, you're the perfect girl." And then that dodgy agent that they've got shows up, and Ricky Mundo says that you're shit, you're useless. And then the fucking doll was back going, the doll's like, and Ricky gives the doll a pen, and the doll stabs the manager to death with the pen. I'm looking for the line from Daniel Kaluuya. Let's see if we can find it. I think we've realized who this fucking that isn't a clip. We've realized who the doll is.
Jesus Christ. I'm Rick Harrison.
It's Jason Bourne. The doll is Jason Bourne. And then Pentagon and Cage happens. Pretty damn good match. Obviously, some hardcore stuff. Goes sort of like through the crowd. All the way through the crowd, like getting a priest involved and whatever as well. That was supposedly in the crowd. Then Pentagon eventually winning with a stomp through a set of cinder blocks to get the win. And then I think as well, at some point, he just grabbed the priest and broke his arm. Next week, Taya and Johnny Mundo get married. Bit of a fucking anticlimax. But I need to have that ready. Because my God. Oh, now we get to talk about if you saw the Oscar predictions, cheap plug.
Yes.
You'll hear that I was watching some of the coverage. So there was a pre-show before the pre-show, which was backstage interviews in Spanish and live shots of an empty arena. And then the pre-show ended like that. Fucking hell.
Wow.
So then we had into a Jeff Jarrett in the actual proper pre-show, saying that he's going to leave with the title. Had good things to say about Phoenix, but says that he'll still beat him, and he's got tricks up his sleeve. And then there's a wide camera of the arena slightly filling up, and some music, and Conan, and Striker, and Vampiro, and everything. So, actually, on the pre-show, we had Dragon Bane, Astrolux, and Freelance beating Drastic Boy, Latigo, and Aramis in a okay-ish match. A lot of hive dives and everything. Then they did a tribute to the Villano 3. And then Australian Suicide defending his Cruiserweight title. And arguably could have been match of the night to some extent. Because he was facing Shane Strickland, Sammy Guevara, and ACH. So if you wanted a good match, that was pretty good. Guevara actually got the win with a 630. So we have a new World Cruiserweight champ. But then, fucking hell, Killer Cross shows up and offers Australian Suicide a Mad t-shirt, you know, Mad being the heel stable that he's in. And Australian Suicide accepted. Why? Then we have Alfonso Morales and El Apache being put in the Hall of Fame. Then the actual opener for the main event, the mixed tag titles. Nino Hamburguesa and Big Mami retaining against El Hijo de Vicino and Vanilla, Angelical and La Hiedra, and Dynastia and Lady Maravilla, which was all right. They all started doing dives and stuff. Even Big Mami, who is like, imagine the size of Awesome Kong, but double it. She's that big and chunky.
Mm.
It was all right for what it was. Then there was a number one contenders tag team ladder match for a contract, for whoever the tag champs would be. That was won by Bandido and Flamita, beating Aerostar, Drago, Golden Magic and Laredo Kid, and DJZ and Andrew Everett. Nice sort of crazy spots and everything happening. And Bandido unhooked the contract and whatever. For a spectacle thing with like all the crazy spots, it was good. Then here comes Mad. Jarrett, Teddy Hart, Conan, Australian Suicide Killer Squad, Killer Cross, and Juventud, and called out and taunted Vampiros on the English commentary, who, by the way, before this match had even done, had openly farted and the mics caught it. And burped and everything. So it was like, wow, he really gives a shit about the presentation, doesn't he? Which is an interesting thing considering what came afterwards, which we'll get to. So then Pagano and Murder Clown came to run in and got beat down, and they just left and walked up the ramp. And Vampiro's going, play my music, guys. Guys, they need to know that something's going to be done about it. They need to know something's happening. Guys, can somebody in the back tell somebody to play my fucking music? What are you fucking idiots doing? Play my fucking music. Then they actually do play the music. And gets in the ring. And it's just left with Vampiro and Conan. And Vampiro has got a contract for a match between the two of them. But before Conan signs it, the added stipulation is that the loser must leave Mexico. So I don't know whether this is Vamp giving up. Because obviously he wasn't on creative at this show. Like he may have been for other shows. Then we had the trios titles with Poder del Norte of Tito Santana, Mocha Carter Jr. and Carter Brava Jr. retaining over Mamba, Maxino, Pimpinella Escalata, and Taurus Puma King and El Hijo de LA Park. Which was all right and whatever. But nothing really exceptional. Then we had the Lumberjack match with OGT of Averno, Chessman, Superfly beating Mad of Teddy Hart, Jack Evans, and Juventud, which is interesting because there was a run-in from Poder del Norte from the previous match because they've had sort of their stuff and problems. So yeah, the confusing thing is the Poder team attacked OGT, but after the attack, OGT just took on Teddy Hart and beat the shit out of him. So the beatdown did absolutely fuck all. What? Then we get to... I don't know whether we can call this a street fight. We could call this attempted murder. La Mascara, Rey Scorpion, and El Tejano Jr. beating Joe Leader, Pagano, and Murder Clown. I mean, Murder Clown got slammed for a bunch of chairs. Powerbomb. Pagano got powerbombed for a ladder. Leader got hit with a light tube. Chair shots to the head. Pagano missing a moonsault and crashing into more light tubes. Then there was a press slam from Murder Clown to Tejano onto a small table covered in thumbtacks. And then Pagano in a crazy ass spot, which just about went all right, but was that feather line from being shit. Pagano got power bombed into a shopping cart. That literally, if it was like 2 inches either way, would have fucking broke his spine. They were very lucky in the fact that they got the placement pretty much bang on. Then the finish came with Tejano lighting the rope on fire and then sort of whipping Leader supposedly with it, but he sort of whipped to the other side. And it finished it. Leader got taken into an ambulance, which I'm guessing was what they were supposed to do anyway. But you could legit see the glass from the bloody light tubes sticking out of his head. Earlier on the show, there was a baby being held up. This baby saw this fucking shit. So then we started actually getting to the decent stuff. Except, as usual, let's overbook the fuck out of this. So Taurus was second to Fabio Apache, and Lady Shani had Hamburgeressa in his corner, but eventually got taken out on a stretcher. I can't remember what happened. So out comes La Parca to become the second. El Hijo de Tarantes was the ref for this and was clearly on Fabi's side, doing fast counts and slow counts, respectively, and whatever. There were so many sort of falls that, even when there was a crossface from Lady Shani, the referee broke up the thing. So then Tarantes got bumped because Shani got out of the way of like a drop kick that Apache was delivering. And she was tapping. Then a referee came out, but then nothing happened. And the referees argued. Tarantes got shoved down by the other referee and then got given a tilt and whirl backbreaker. Yes, in this women's match, one of the highlights was the referees doing wrestling moves on each other. And then eventually, Shani hit a lung blower and actually got the pinfall. Apache then teased leaving without actually getting her head shaved because the last time she lost a hair versus hair match, she didn't have it shaved. So that was great. But then eventually she actually did. That happened. Then in a pretty good match, which you'd expect considering Brian Cage, Rich Swann, Phoenix, and, well, to some extent, Jeff Jarrett were in it. So this got crazy sort of midway through because Maricela Pena, Antonio's widow, threw a drink at Jeff. And then Phoenix went for a dive on Jeff, but accidentally smacked the shit out of Maricela. And she got taken to the back. Jarrett hit the ref with a guitar, then delivered a low blow to Phoenix. And here comes La Parca's music. Because, of course, they're playing up the fact that the last time that La Parca came out, it was actually Conan in disguise and whatever. And then He went 1, 2, and refused to count anymore. He got up, took off his mask, and it's Dr. Wagner Jr., the guy that lost the belt because of the shenanigans. Jarrett was in shock. Phoenix hit a cutter and got the pinfall. Phoenix is the new AAA World Champion. And then a 2-in-1 match, really, because it's the Poker Stars, because I don't know whether it might have been sponsored, I don't know. 4-way mask match. There was a cage, which Pentagon Jr. managed to escape out of, and Psycho Clown managed to escape out of, leaving El Hijo Fantasma in LA Park. The cage came up, and had a fight and all. Fantasma tore off Park's mask, but because Tarantes was the heel referee was there, he was like, I'll allow it. And Park was bleeding a shit ton. Then the Phantasma's mask got ripped, smashed with a monitor, so there was blood on him. Then the ref got bumped out the ring, so Phantasma unmasked himself and sold like he'd been fouled Eddie Guerrero style. So Park was like, okay. He unmasked himself and did it as well. And Tarantes was like teasing, should this guy win? Should this guy win? And then he's just like, I won't have either of you working me. Fuck it. We're still doing this. So then LA Park shoved down Tarantes. Phantasma gave him a low blow, but Park kicked out despite a fast count. And then Tarantes and Phantasma began arguing because it was a case of, why didn't you count faster, ref? He's supposed to be on my side. And Phantasma shoved him. Park speared Phantasma, covered him, and Tarantes did a fast count because he was angry about being disrespected. And as soon as he did the 3 count, the ref was like, what have I done? What have I done? And El Hijo Fantasma unmasked with the help of his dad and everything. And then when you thought it was actually over, nope. Here comes Dr. Wagner Jr. cutting a promo on LA Park. The implication being next year's Triple Mania, just like last year and the year before, I want you in a hair versus mask match. Which the interesting thing is, they turned heel on Wagner. Literally only like weeks after cheering him, they've turned heel on him because it's LA Park. This went 5 hours. What a clusterfuck. And then the best bit of the show happened after it was finished. There was a GoPro documentary, because GoPro cameras, showing you what life was like in real life and behind the scenes for Ian Hutchinson, Fabi Apache, and El Hijo de Fantasma. And it was a really good documentary. I had to sit through 5 hours of fucking terrible wrestling for it. But if that's somewhere on the internet, watch it. Because that documentary bit was really fucking good. Apparently it's on GoPro's website. GoPro.com. I think. Let's have a quick look. I'm trying to see if it's actually available for people to watch or not. Oh no. Watch below live from the Lucha Libre Twitch page starting at 10 p.m. Pacific. Which was more like 11 p.m. Pacific because, of course, it was delayed as fuck. The full edit will stream for a limited time on Twitch. So hopefully somebody fucking clip that. Because otherwise nobody's going to ever see it. Great job, GoPro. You idiots. So yeah, that went down. Don't know what. Can somebody get the main event spoilers?
Let's see. We've got.
Oh no, I can.
You have chat up.
Well, you've got the question. You got what are the questions? Hang on. Oh no, they might be loading up in time. Just about. No way Jose beat Tyler Breeze and Ruby Riot beat Ember Moon. Wow, they were on the pre-show. Fucking hell. All right, back to the comments. Owen quit just like Kevin Owens. Do you hate us for having more questions?
I didn't quit.
You're just tired as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I work, and I'm about to become even more tired for the next 2 months, as you guys saw on Facebook and Twitter.
AAA was as overbooked as I thought it was. King Cuerno, I think. No, King Cuerno hasn't been unmasked. He just goes under a different name because King Cuerno isn't El Hijo de Fantasma, I think.
No, he's not.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure he's been unmasked somewhere when he isn't wrestling as El Hijo de Fantasma. I vaguely remember that, so who knows? Any chance Jeff relaunches GFW? Well, suppose that...
Talked about this last week. I remember that question last week.
Isn't there supposed to be a stream? No, that's it. The next big NWA show.
Yeah, the anniversary show.
It's going to be done in conjunction with GFW.
That makes sense.
I guess it isn't dead yet, somehow. Not nobody gives a shit when it's anything involving bad Mexican wrestling. We always use the Lucha Underground Yes Roundabout shit. It's by default.
I mean,
in the English language.
Honestly, I was thinking about taking an idea for Monday's show and doing it live and doing like an MST 3K for it. But the thing about it is I just don't care. I don't care about the WWE product right now. I mean, there's nothing that really intrigues me.
You work hard all day, all night. So yeah.
Raw All In intrigues me. New Japan intrigues me. Ring of Honor intrigues me. I'm curious about Impact. Maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know. It just depends.
Oh, should we talk about that shit?
Sure. I don't hate you guys for having more questions. I just try to keep up on it, and when I fall asleep, I'm sorry.
So Eddie Edwards opened up the show, basically saying, wanted Aries, who came out with Cross, and Aries is like, I'm the greatest professional wrestler walking the planet. And they had a fight, and then the heels beat the shit out of Eddie Edwards, but then Moose came out to make the save. Then we had Matt Sydal versus Zachary Wentz. Wentz being described as an independent darling, and I'm like, is he? I don't know whether he is. Then they promoted the Mexico City tapings. Then a promo for Jericho's Cruise. With one of the nights being Ring of Honor versus Impact. Then in the flashback, it was Road Warrior Daniels and Road Warrior Kazarian.
Oh, I remember this.
Versus the James Storm. Or whatever. And then AJ Clothesline Storm or whatever. Can't even remember that Road Warriors bit. Fallow Bar gave a gift to KM. And they managed to beat the Desi Hit Squad. Basically, KM's got new ring attire or whatever, sort of like Balor, sort of like Fallow Bar wears and whatever. Which was it was a comedy match, and it was like, and then it got worse because Grado ran into Scarlett in the back and said, you know, he's inadequate and he can't impress his girlfriend Katrina, who seems more enthralled with Hendry. And she's, look, I'll help you next week if you join me for an interview, but first you got to do something for me. So Grado is pretending to be Demi Moore from Striptease on a pole and everything, and dancing shirtless in small pants at a strip club with that fucking dweeb, you know, the guy that was like struggling to interview her a few weeks back, just there eating popcorn like Michael Jackson does in Thriller. It's just like, it's like, oh my fucking god. So yeah, apparently Grado's going to be on the Smoke Show next week. Just for that person that said I don't use the sounder. Kira Hogan beats Alicia Edwards in a decent-ish match, but then Ali grabbed the mic and called out Su Yung, wanting revenge against her for what happened to Rosemary and Madison Rayne. Although apparently what Su Yung did is opened up a portal to another dimension, if we're going by their YouTube series. But there you go. And then all of a sudden, she goes like, every time I'm about to pin Young, Tessa Blanchard shows up. So guess what? Triple threat match. Okay. Then Johnny Impact's at a swimming pool saying he's going to beat Congo Kong. Then Congo Kong attacks him at the swimming pool in such a way when it looked like it was filmed on a completely different day. The editing was like really bad. Really, really bad. And he tried to spear... Kong tried to spear Impact into the pool, but he moved and Kong just basically splashed. Then Brandon Tidwell at Mr. Atlantis beat Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley. And then fucking hell. Thank you. So Conan and LAX celebrating on the street with their win and whatever.
Oh, I heard about this.
Except a car showing up with Hernandez and Homicide and Kingston. And, you know, there was like, look, I got you special gift. Conan's like, I got you a special gift, guys, in my car. And it's like, got gifts for you two guys. And also this young kid called Richie, I think, or something like that. And they basically tried to run him over, Fast and Furious style. And everybody got out of the way. And then the kid is laid out on the ground. Yes! Eddie Kingston, Homicide and Hernandez killed a fucking child. This is why I can't take this company serious. They do all this good stuff, good wrestling and all that. And then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to fake kill a child. I guess they're going to make out as if, oh, the child isn't actually dead. Somehow he survived. But remember that line a few weeks back from that promo, basically saying, when this is done, it's over. And then Eddie Kingston said it's not over. Can this please be fucking over? I've had enough of this fucking shit. Eddie Kingston, just go back to Shikara and do something good for once in your fucking life. Because this gimmick is fucking killing your bloody future as a wrestler. Because I don't give a fuck about you. Despite your decent, well, despite, you'd still appear in AAW where you're good, but you don't do anything in AAW, you don't do anything in Shikara. You just do Impact stuff, which is normally shit. Like this. Murdering kids, everybody. Great home entertainment for everyone. And then Sammy beat Pentagon in a Mexican death match. Because that feud's got to fucking continue. Impact can do so many good things. And then, the build up to the smoke show shit with Grado was tedious. The kid murder was just like brilliant. And the amount of people that I don't care about that are on that show, bar possibly the women, is just terrible. Honestly terrible. If we want to talk about decent to good wrestling, Bianca Belair won her match on NXT, which was okay-ish. Pete Dunne, Zach Gibson was bloody excellent. Again. That's worth watching on the network if you can. Probably just that match. The Bianca Belair match was just like trying to push her and everything. And then it's interesting what happened in terms of NXT. Let me see if I can get the notes up for it on here. I guess the big stuff to mention with the UK tapings is Rhea Ripley is the UK Women's Champion. The interesting twist being apparently Toni Storm might be legit injured from what happened in the match. Which, let's be honest, is pretty awkward, wouldn't you say, Owen?
I would say so.
If we're gonna be doing shit to do stuff, it's to build up to Evolution. How the shit are we gonna have that final now? That also affected Progress, which we'll get to in a bit. The dark match for the NXT tapings had Dominik Dijakovic. I wonder who that is, Owen.
Why are they changing his name like that? I know why, but I mean, just no, stop.
So Gargano comes out with a crutch and says, "I've let you down. I've become Tommaso Ciampa." And Regal came in and basically said, "Look, were you the person that attacked Aleister Black?" Which is interesting because that's clearly going to become a whodunit at some point over the next month or so.
I'm telling you, it needs to be Chris Hero. Get on that.
Gargano basically said, "Look in my eyes." And Regal said again, and instead Velveteen Dream's music hit and said, "You're a failure because you've you've only got the crutch to keep weight off your knee for a few days, and he threw the crutch at Dream, and Regal rolled them apart. So we're getting that towards the end of the show. Dakota Kai beat Aaliyah. Lars Sullivan destroyed Raul Mendoza and said he didn't attack Aleister Black, but he did attack EC3 backstage for saying his name. So that happened. Keith Lee beat Luke Menzies, which is Menzies is the former UK rugby player guy, which, you know, rightfully he jobbed to Keith Lee, because of course he did. So then Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly were taking on Ricochet and Pete Dunne, except Swerve! It's actually Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. They got the win. Tried to continue the beating, but War Raiders made the save. So then Cassius Ohno beat Kona Reeves. And Ohno says, when I came here, I had so much buzz and it went away. And there's always somebody now newer and fresher. And that next guy will have to go through me. So I don't know whether that means Ohno versus Riddle is TakeOver.
I could see that.
The Forgotten Sons of Blake and Cutler beat the Street Profits because of thanks to the Mighty. That's one feud I don't give a fuck about. Kairi Sane with a gold coin-filled treasure chest because she's a pirate.
God.
I mean, she won, beating Trish Adora, but then Shayna came out saying that she would invoke her rematch clause soon. The big thing to come out of the live events this weekend is all 4 horsewomen now are actively wrestling.
Correct.
It might be happening, guys. So it's Velveteen Dream versus Johnny Gargano. And in sort of Sabu style, Velveteen has a Johnny Wrestling shirt, except he's gaffer taped up wrestling and written on it in black Sharpie, failure. Johnny Failure. And I'm like, yes! I love this. And Velveteen Dream got the win because he got distracted by a fan wearing a Johnny Wrestling shirt. And then the crowd started chanting Johnny Failure and na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. So I don't know whether that's him leaving NXT or like, I don't know. Only Lorcan and Danny Burch beat Cesar Bononi and Adrian Jaude. Then Ciampa came out saying he didn't take out Aleister Black, but he'd like to know who did. And then some young Gargano fan who held up a sign had his sign torn up because Ciampa. Shayna beat Violet Rain in pretty much no time at all. Lars Sullivan beat Raul Mendoza in a pretty much squash match. Bianca Belair and Nikki Cross went to a no contest because they just had a giant brawl sort of on the outside, so it basically was a double count out. And then they brawled all the way sort of around the production area and even on top of the announce table. So that happened. Lacey Evans and Aaliyah beat Dakota Kai and Gianna Perazzo. Jackson Ryder, the former Gunner, beat Humberto Carrillo. And then the main event, which apparently was really good until the inevitable happened. Pete Dunne versus Ricochet, winner takes all. Both titles on the line. Except, of course, it went to a no contest because Undisputed Era ran in for the attack. But then War Raiders made the save. Then only Lorcan and Danny Burch came out. And everybody got beat. Everybody in Undisputed Era got beaten up. And then I'm guessing as a special treat for the fans, Keith Lee showed up behind Adam Cole to throw him back in the ring for everybody to hit their finishes on him. I doubt that, that's probably just like the tease and whatever. that they did for that. I'd have thought. Few bits of news today. Ed Cohen, who headed the event booking for the WWE since sort of its regional days, right through its sort of national expansion, passed away at the age of 62 today due to health issues stemming from bone cancer. And also Aya Koyama, a pro wrestler and MMA fighter, passed away due to cancer as well at the age of only 45. And also Norifumi Kid Yamamoto, who's an MMA guy that was very popular in Japan. He's announced that he's been hospitalized and battling cancer. And also Akira Taue from All Japan and whatever, and became president of Pro Wrestling Noah after Misawa's death. Apparently he's been battling cancer since the spring and has had to have his stomach removed. So, yeah, cancer fucking sucks. Apparently more available tickets are being added for the G1 Supercard at the Garden on April 6th. Lucha Central apparently airing a show from Vegas at 8 p.m. Pacific, headlined by Mysterio, Penta, and Phoenix versus Juventud, Psychosis, and Super Crazy. So that'll be crazy. And then AAW are doing a show in Chicago on Thursday, Destination Chicago, clearly as a build-up to the Inn of Alls. That's going to have the Besties defending the tag titles against David Starr and Eddie Kingston. Penta and Phoenix versus Flamita and Bandido. Sami Callihan and Jessica Havoc versus Jimmy Jacobs and Brody King. Wait, I didn't know Jimmy Jacobs and Brody King were an item. And that's why they're doing the match, right? Okay. Trevor Lee against Ace Romero for the Heritage title. The Chris Brothers versus Kurt Sally and Jake something, and a few other things as well. Oh yeah, the big thing that they announced tomorrow. Sheamus and Cesaro, Anderson and Gallows, and the Colons will be in a freeway to determine who will be challenging the New Day at Hell in a Cell. So yes, Epico's fucking back. Oh, and Miz and Mrs. is finishing tomorrow. After only like 5 weeks, it's already finished? Huh? Oh, and some UFC stuff. Apparently, the November 24th show from China is going to be a Fight Pass exclusive. So even it won't even be on like Fox or ESPN, because I don't know when that deal sort of starts off and whatever. Oh shit. Peach Machine, who apparently fought Alvarez on it was like a tag team match, I believe, on the Future Stars of Wrestling show that they had as part of SummerSlam weekend. There was a heel hook that happened, and Peach Machine, who was one of the wrestlers in the tournament, I don't know what happened, because it seems crazy, but via this heel hook, Peach Machine managed to break both his tibia and his fibula. There is a GoFundMe for him, because of course, you know, 2 bones is 2 bones is pretty crazy and all that, and breaking. He's already raised about $1,000, which is good to see, but geez, really looks like a bad injury. You know, it it's sort of like one of those ones where it's nearly as bad as Sid's leg going and Anderson Silva's leg going. If you've seen any of them, pretty bad. You know, it's generally bad. Tony Ferguson's coming back to be on the undercard of Khabib versus McGregor at UFC 229. Here's an interesting move. The Fighting Spirit Unleashed show from New Japan and Access isn't going to be live. It's going to be shown on tape delay the Friday afterwards. But for those of you that are intrigued, that live in the rest of the world, it is going to be on New Japan World in English as well as Japanese. So you will still be able to watch the show live, but you just won't in America. Unless there's probably other means, because there probably is. I don't know. Trying to see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, the Ring of Honor spoilers. The big one, I'd say, which is significant for the end of September. Jay Lethal's defending the Ring of Honor title against Will Ospreay. Does that have you intrigued, Owen, or? Nah, he's gone. He's gone. Sumi Sakai won, and she'll be defending her title against Tennille Dashwood at Death Before Dishonor. They had a little sort of promo bit there. Gresham beat Bully Ray by DQ because Bully Ray's doing that. Because of course there was no. I guess BJ was on commentary with Ian for this one because Colt's obviously busy with doing some Edinburgh Festival stuff, finishing off that. SCU beat Punishment Martinez and the Briscoes. Then they did a good Cody and Nick Aldis promo for All In, which clearly isn't not going to be shown on the Ring of Honor television product because it doesn't make sense. Best Friends beat the Boys. Kenny King over Hangman Page. Dante Calbello and Brian Johnson never happened because Jeff Cobb laid the shit out of them. Bully Ray and Silas Young beat Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham. Then Jenny Rose, Stella Gray, and Tennille Dashwood beat Ashley Vox, Chris Statlander, and Riley Shepard. Shaheem Ali won a four-way over Sabin, Flip Gordon, and Shane Taylor. Punishment Martinez retained the TV title over Aaron Solo. I've got a feeling that's something to do with the Dojo Pro thing because Aaron Solo won that. Oh, wait, that's spoilers in case you haven't seen it, but too bad. It's going to happen at some point. Coast to Coast beat the Kingdom of TK O'Ryan and Vinny because obviously Matt Taven's busy in CMLL making money. Hurricane Helms randomly beat Marty Skull. Oh, that's about. In a fight without honor, Cheeseburger beat Will Ferreira. And then Cody and the Young Bucks retained the Ring of Honor six-man belts over Silas Young, Brian Malonis, and the Beer City Bruiser because that happened. But yeah, I'd say the big stuff is Ospreay versus Lethal, which would be a very tasty little affair, I would argue. CWF Mid-Atlantic, the Johnny Weaver Memorial Tournament, was won by John Schuyler. He beat Cowboy Cool J in the semifinals. And the other one was Cam Carter. He won in the other semifinal, beating Kane Justice. But Schuyler beat him eventually to win the tournament. All-Star Roy Wilkins won the Golden Ticket in the Golden Ticket Battle Royal. Cool J, wow, so he wrestled twice. And Michael McAllister beat Ethan Alexander Sharp and Kane Justice to become the new tag champs. And then Trevor Lee, the Double Crown champ, beat Chet Sterling by pinfall to retain the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title in the main event. AIW's Wrestle Rager from Now That's Class in Cleveland, Ohio. They weren't allowed in the school. Oh, what's going on with that? Gringo Loco won the Frey match, if you want to call it that, with AJ Gray, Brian Cranston, Riley Reid, Spider-Nate Webb, and Rex Brody in it. Britt Baker beat Alley Cat. Dominic Guarini victorious over TKD. Josh Bishop won a 4-way over Zach Thomas, PB Smooth, and Derek Director. The production of Magnum CK and Frankie Flynn retained the AOW tag belts over the Jollyville Fuckets. Swoggle beat Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham. PCO beat Matt Justice and Sabu. The Young Studs of Eric Ryan and Bobby Beverly beat the production of Eddie Only and Danny Danhausen. Eddie Kingston beat Wes Barkley. Oh, wait, he actually showed up in the IW for a change. And then Duke Money came out to proclaim that the main event is now a 5-on-4 handicap match, except that resulted in John Thorne, who's been out of retirement or been in retirement for years, coming back to aid the Weird World experience. So, yeah, Weird World of Keller and Adams, the Philly Marino experience of Philly and Marino, unsurprisingly, and John Thorne beat the Duke Money of the Duke, Jock Sampson, Mance Warner, Twan Tucker, and Parker Pierce in the Fans Bring the Weapons match. So, yeah, that got a little crazy. And by little, I mean very. The most important stuff, though, is progress that actually happened earlier today at the Electric Ballroom in Camden, London. The Grizzled Young Vets got back onto winning ways, beating Eminem and the tag Thunder Bastard stuff. So it was this match was supposed to be Ginny, Charlie Morgan, and Shakara versus it's Ginny, Charlie Morgan, and Shakara versus Laura Di Matteo, Millie McKenzie, and Candy Floss. The big thing about this is Nina Samuels and Tony Storm are both out for injury. And then Ginny got thrown out the match. So it now becomes a 5-way with the other women getting the right to be in the women's title match at Wembley. And Millie McKenzie wins it. So I'm guessing they don't want to put the belt maybe on Tony because of her injury or because of what's going on with WWE. So I guess Millie is the replacement. I have no objections to this. Millie's getting a push. She's going to be at Wembley Arena. I'm excited for her. Then Mandrews comes out, wants Eddie Dennis to come out to make the match official at Wembley, which they do. And then they have a giant fight. And apparently it's going to be a TLC match. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my. And then so it's Aussie Open versus CCK, except Kid Lykos is injured, except Jonathan Gresham was injured / actually in America. So instead, Brooks is teaming up with Timothy Thatcher. So, of course, they're the Calamari Thatch Kings. And CTK, I guess you could call them, actually get the win. So the points, I guess, continue and whatever. Then we've got Pete Dunne and Trent Seven versus Doug Williams and Volta. With Volta making Trent's tap to get the win for him. And Doug Williams, who was hurt on the outside. And interestingly, Trent helps Doug to the back. Also something that the Indie Corner noticed. Ricky Shane Page is going to be in the UK from September the 14th to October the 1st. So there's a lot of people thinking, wait, is he Progress in? Is that a thing now, Owen? So Pete grabs CMJ because he's there. But, oh, look. Your boy Ilya Dragunov is here and he hits the Torpedo Moscow on him. So I guess that's a good way to build into what happens on the WXW shows in the next or this coming week. Then it's the first 3-in match. Tyler Bate versus Mark Haskins. Whoever wins is going to be facing Volta and maybe other people. And Tyler Bate manages to escape a sharpshooter and hit Haskins with the Tyler Driver in what's said to be an excellent match. Tyler Bate goes on to Wembley to probably take on Volta. And then the interesting one, Jimmy Havoc, Will Ospreay, 2 out of 3 falls, no DQ, with Paul Robinson guest refereeing. If Jimmy wins, he's in the main event at Wembley. From what I've heard, this was just as good as match as the other one. 4 fake Ospreay showed up in, I guess, his various attires and jackets that he's got, pulling out tables and everything. Havoc gets the first fall with a Rainmaker. Ospreay tried to make Robinson attack Jimmy, but he wasn't having any of it. Then Ospreay took the second fall with a backslide pin. And of course, the table didn't break when they did do a table spot. The referee, Chris Roberts, got laid out and whatever. And then Paz got laid out as well. So Jim Smallman had to take over his refereeing duty. But then Robinson comes back into it. Curb stomps Jimmy Havoc. Ospreay hits the Stormbreaker. Jimmy Havoc loses. He isn't going to the main event of Wembley. And then Robinson goes, I'm the one that sent you out of Progress for a year. So I've ruined it again for you. Guess what? You and me at Wembley in a death match. Wow. And then interestingly, Ospreay looks to try and decapitate Jimmy with the axe, but then helps Jimmy up, nods his respect, and Havoc accepts Robinson's challenge. Yeah, that might be one you might want to try and catch, guys. In all honesty, that might be one you might want to try and catch on Demand Progress. Because that looks pretty incredible. I don't know about. We got questions in chat.
I'm not exactly sure because I don't know exactly where we are.
Oh shit. Almost 2-hour show. I hope Leather Belts who made Progress Belts makes the UK belts. Well, if you've seen the UK women's belt, it looks pretty solid. It looks pretty decent. Travis Banks' injury. I can't remember what he did. Was on one of the Fight Club pro shows. He got injured. I can't remember how. Also, 1SSS wants your opinion, Owen, on Grado stripping.
It's interesting. I mean, I like Grado a lot. I like this angle with what's going on with Katarina and Joe Hendry. It's very much like Impact's PG version of Jimmy and Lacey with Austin Aries.
Yeah, to some extent.
And I absolutely love that angle. It's probably one of my favorite angles of all time. Probably because I can identify 100% with the storyline, i.e. I am Grado, and I'm not even going to go with the rest of it. But especially not on a live broadcast. But yeah, it's interesting. It's intriguing. I see that he's still doing obviously still doing the World of Sports stuff. One Triple S also said, I'm dead, Undertaker took me. No, I'm kind of possessed by Charles Lee Ray, but that's another story for another time. And I say this on the wrestling show.
Oh, shit. So the World of Sport stuff, because we're sticking, I guess, with the English stuff. Team Alphabad, which is Kip Sabian, Yeston Reese, beat BT Gunn and Stevie Boy in a decent-ish match, I guess. And then in a random triple threat, we had Gabriel Kidd, Will Slater, and Crater, which this seems odd. Unsurprisingly, Crater won by basically just murdering both of them. And then the bromance of Nathan Cruz and Adam Maxted beat Grado and Davey Boy Smith Jr. with Grado being worked on the knee quite considerably, and actually Cruz winning by making Grado submit to a figure 4. And in the main event, it was an over-the-top battle royal with Viper, B. Priestley, Aisha, Casey Owens, and Kaylee Ray. What a great women's division it is. It's only 5 women.
Was this Defiant?
Defiant had to get a replacement because they couldn't get Millie McKenzie because, you know, WWE / Progress. So they had to get somebody else in. I can't remember who. Casey got eliminated first, then B. Priestley, then Aisha, and then Viper basically got eliminated, and Kaylee Ray retains. So Aisha and Viper and the stuff that they did was pretty interesting. But still, it's just like, how am I supposed to be invested when you don't have great presentation? You've got camera cutting to a plenty. It's just annoying because I want there to be a good product. It's just that there isn't. Trying to see if there's anything else. What other shows? Oh, we have got UFC coming up this weekend. Actually, no, we've got show actually happened this past weekend. Fight Night 135. Gaethje versus Vic. Gaethje getting actually the win with a pretty sweet knockout after like only 90 seconds and whatever. He got performance of the night along with Eric Anders. His head kick, his head kick KO pretty late on, like right towards the end. So don't know how that would have gone in terms of the points because I didn't manage to catch that one. Thanks to Triple Mania sort of putting me out and having me pay attention to that. Fight of the night did go to a fight on the Fox Sports 2 prelim card, though. Corey Sandhagen beating Iori Alcantara in a second round TKO. So even though Alcantara lost, did get a $50,000 bonus for it. Joanne Calderwood did also win with a triangle armbar submission right at the end of the first round, so I'm pleased to see she did well. And Mickey Gall also got a win with a 69-second rear naked choke. Make your own jokes, kids. UFC is next in action in 2 weeks for UFC 228. Woodley versus Till. The more and more they are promoting that is pretty good. The big thing, though, coming from this past weekend, Yair Rodriguez had to pull out of his match with Zabit Magomed Sharapov. I think that's how you pronounce it. There's no word on whether they're trying to get a new opponent for Zabit or whether that match is going to be taken off the card and they're just going to shift some stuff around. We'll have to see. The next Bellator stuff of significance isn't until the end of September, so there you go. So yeah, in terms of what's happening this weekend, other than All In, Shikara's got King of Trios, which is going to be pretty interesting. Rev Pro has got a couple of shows here in the UK. Alpha One's got a show Sunday up in Ontario, Canada. AAW has a couple of shows actually, Thursday and Friday. WXW and Progress are doing their 3 co-combined shows also over sort of Labor Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Southside Wrestling has also got a couple of shows Saturday and Sunday as well. And then there's also some IPW UK stuff coming. Let me have a quick look. Calendar. Wednesday night, the Wednesday night graps, as they call it, and everything. In terms of other stuff, I don't even know what happened at the ICW tapings because I haven't got any notes from it or anything. I guess that's the problem when there's so much other stuff happening. And the Fight Club Pro shows in London are happening today, Tuesday, that is, Wednesday and Thursday, and then I believe there's a Friday show as well. The problem, well, I guess some of the WWE UK talents can now appear on that because of happening afterwards and all that. So I guess that's not too bad. But yeah, pretty crazy week, in all honesty. Sorry I wasn't able to cover all the results, but I only want the show to roughly go around 2 hours or so. But I have a quick pop into the chat to see if there's any other comments and whatever. Where's Goto? Can we agree I'm tired with Goto with the Never belt? Give it to Jay White. And no, Ashley, Never open weight is open to all. It's considered the strong style because of the people who've held it. True, but I mean, Goto's going into a feud with Taichi. I'd be intrigued to give it to Taichi and see what happens with it, in all honesty. But I certainly see that you're sort of tired with Goto because it's sort of like Goto is somewhat similar. I guess he's the new one from Chaos that everybody's sick of now because Okada's sort of accepted that he's all right with it. I don't know. Does it feel redundant to have a match where the outcome will be predictable, as in Ospreay and Lethal, when we know no title will change hands? And then, interestingly, Cage Rage says also Nakamura versus AJ at Saudi Arabia or Aldis versus Rhodes at All In. Is it you, or have I got the feeling that Cody's winning at All In, Owen?
I think he's going to.
Then again, whether he'll wrestle on a Global Force Wrestling show.
Well, considering the fact he's never lost the Next Level Championship, as I brought up many, many minutes ago.
He's still undefeated.
Yes.
Kushida for another open weight? Maybe.
Seems like we can give that belt to anybody at this point.
Owen is dead. Undertaker took him. We better not be dead because Undertaker's coming on Raw next week, apparently. Justin versus Tony is better. Yeah. Michael Johnson finally won a fight. Very true as well. Won Triple S. And then Asa with some the amateur boxing stuff with KSI and Logan Paul. Yeah, the amateur boxing event that was in an arena that would host like a major boxing event. The tickets for the... How much do you think the tickets for the weigh-ins cost, Owen?
Weigh-in?
Yeah.
$100.
£500.
Gee, and how much is that?
$600 maybe, $700.
Good God, what is this? Was this boxing in Vegas in 1993?
They said we have a match, put mainstream attention on the NWA, and they give Aldis the rub. Yeah, but Aldis has held that belt for 9 months. He's had the rub.
It's time for him to drop it.
He's had all the attention through the free matches that they've been showing on Facebook and the social media stuff. He's had enough publicity. You know, I'm waiting for Being the Elite, but obviously we're not getting that. Oh no, it just went live. Oh, I'm tempted to do a live reaction as we watch it. We could queue it up. Because it might give us preparation for Sunday, Owen. Do you want to bring it up?
I can't like listen to it, obviously.
Oh, can't you play it and have me talking over it? Maybe.
No, because I don't have a headset on. Don't forget that.
Oh shit. That's annoying. There goes that idea. Well, I guess I know what I'm watching in a few minutes then once we're done. I'll have a quick look, see if there is any results from the C4 wrestling stuff, because I do have a fondness for them. I know they had a show, and I never had a chance to sort of prepare for it and everything with various stuff going down personally at my end. I think it was the charity event, because it says here that the season 12 premiere is September 14th. So I guess it was a charity event. So I better talk about charity, hadn't I? If I can actually get it loaded up. I think it's the wrestling with cancer show, or Fighting Back 8. That's the one it's called. Forgot the name. Please tell me we've got a list of results. C4, you're normally good at this stuff. Wow, they raised over $25,000. I have no problem with that then. Jeez, that's pretty good. Do we have the results? Maybe have the results. Apparently we don't. That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. There's actually no results up. That's surprising me. They're normally good at that C4 and getting the actual updates on it and everything. That's annoying that I can't cover it. But yeah. I think that is all from us for this time, and we get closer and closer and closer and closer to All In weekend.
Yep.
On Starcast. Quick, let me go to fight.tv to run through everything that's happening again. We might as well do that. Also, we might as well run through the card, hadn't we? Nearly forgot that. We were going to do it. So, the schedule for the Fight TV Starcast coverage. At 8 Eastern, we've got the Monday Night Wars debate with Pritchard and Bischoff, as well as karaoke with Marty Scurll. Then at 10 Eastern, Botchamania with Matthew, Tony Schiavone, Ron Futches, and Castigo Kid, along with a Papa Buck jam session. Then we jump forward to 11:30 on the Friday. We've got Medusa on Throttled with guests talking about women's wrestling. Then at 1 Eastern, What Happened When Monday of Shivani and guests. At 1:30, the 4-Star Summit with Meltzer, Keller, Alvarez, and Mitchell from Pro Wrestling and Wrestling Observer and whatever. Total Nonstop Jarrett is on at 3 Eastern. At 3:30, you got Wrestle Crap with RD Reynolds and friends. Then at 5:30, the War Games retrospective with JJ Dillon, Tully Blanchard, Lex Luger, and Animal. Then at 7 Eastern, we've got the Clock Blockers trivia with Macaulay Culkin and Matt Cohen of the Bunny Ears podcast. But then at the same time, you've also got the All-In weigh-in and press conference. So I feel sorry for Culkin and Cohen, because they might get also with it added into that fact, the weigh-in and the press conference is free for anybody to watch on Fight. Everything else you got to pay for. Then at 9 Eastern, we've got both the roast of Bruce Pritchard and the Raven Effect on 2 separate stages. Then at 11, Stranglemania with the Insane Clown Posse. Is that just a show? It's not a wrestling event, is it?
It's probably hyping up the original Stranglemania.
Ah, okay.
Which was basically ICP. They were dubbing over some of the matches from the King of the Death Matches tournament for IWA Japan.
Okay.
It's great, by the way.
And then at midnight, spend my days karaoke with Jarrett and Pritchard. Because of course it is. Then we get to Saturday itself at 9:30. Yeah. At 9:30. The All-In DDP Yoga Workshop's happening. Then at 10, if you do want to tune away from that, Jerry Lawler, Dutch Mantel, and Bill Apter will be doing a thing remembering Andy Kaufman. Then at midday, 1, 2, 3, 60 degrees of the NWO, Hall and Nash, and all that with X-Pac. Please tell me Hogan showing up. At 12:30, we've got the Death of WCW panel going on. At 2 Eastern, Primetime Wrestling with Sean Mooney and guests. At 2:30, Keeping It 100 special with Hurricane, Conan, and Disco Inferno. And then right before All In, at 4 Eastern, will be the Greatest Trivia Rumble with Ryan Satin. Then is it... I need to get the times because I've just got it listed as the pay-per-view starting. Yeah, so at 6 Eastern, All In 0 hours on, which will be having the 15-person over-budget battle royal to determine who faces Jay Lethal later on in the night, along with the Briscoes taking on SoCal Uncensored. In terms of the battle royal, I'd like to say Ethan Page, but I'm not sure. Because I noticed as well that conspicuous from his absence, MJF isn't on yet, but even though he is All In. Because Lethal versus MJF could be a very interesting match as well. So we'll have to see what happens there.
I mean, personally, if you want to talk about storylines, the right answer here would be Cabana. But if it were me, I'd book Jimmy Jacobs to win with his Ring of Honor past.
Mm.
And I would like to see Jimmy Jacobs in a serious match against Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor world title.
Maybe.
Could also be somebody that's not even listed for the Battle Royal yet, too.
Yeah, because I mean, if you put MJF in there, I guess you've still got 3 names that still need to be added. Then at 7.
Why am I thinking? I don't know. I mean, honestly, someone I think that might be All In. I think Stu Bennett might be All In.
I don't think he's gone over.
We'll see. There's a lot of independent names that are doing the show that we don't know about yet. So, I mean,
there aren't that many. We know there's going to be a secret match.
Yep.
The 11th match that we don't know about, which is probably Flip Gordon and somebody.
I think it's Flip Gordon and Pac.
Yeah, which is why we talked about it earlier.
Yep.
Or Flip Gordon versus somebody else that just could randomly show up. I guess it could be Flip versus Bully Ray, but then I guess they already did that on the Bully Ring of Honor stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. The weird shit would be, what if it was Marco Stunt?
Oh, boy.
Marco Stunt, Jay Lethal. So then the main show, Joey Janela, Hangman Page. I think Janela's going to win because
Yep.
Joey Ryan's coming back from the dead.
Joey Ryan is going to help Joey Janela win. I can
Wow.
easily see that.
Okada versus Skrull. The way they're booking this, Skrull surely has to win. I'd have thought.
He either wins or he makes such an impact, pun not intended, by what he does against Okada that they take him more seriously as he's not a junior anymore. But I can honestly see the way they're booking it, it does make sense for Marty to win. And it makes sense for Marty to win clean, too.
Yeah. Well, the fact that even on Ring of Honor, they're showing respect between him and Daniels, it's interesting.
Duck the Rainmaker, crossface chicken wing, Okada taps. Clean.
As I have a wasp on my fucking leg.
Of course you do.
Fucking hell. Ah.
Now, Cage Rage brought up an idea. What happens if Flip would win the Battle Royal, beat Jay Lethal, Cody wins the Ring of Honor title, and they do an impromptu match?
Well, no, Cody's got the NWA title.
Now we're talking about Cody winning the NWA title.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, one, that I'd ruined everything that they fucking done in terms of hyping up Ospreay and Lethal, because that crowd apparently was really hyped for that being announced. But then again, if you got Flip Gordon versus Will Ospreay, that'd be just an interesting match. But I think Lethal's probably retaining. I would have thought.
It really depends on who it is at this point.
Next up, Daniels versus Amel.
I don't see Daniels not being okay with putting Amel over if that's the right way to do business. That promo he cut on being the Elite last time, my God, that was really good. Everyone knows how big of a Chris Daniels fan I have been.
He even brought up the Waterworld shit. That was like, what?
Yeah, he did. So, I mean, Amel winning makes sense.
Amel winning makes sense just because of the way they've built it, and because Amel actually seems to be doing a bit of training as well with Cody at the Hidden Ranch. Madison Rayne, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, and Tessa Blanchard in a 4-way. That's a tough one to call.
I've got two answers to this.
I'd say Madison Rayne is the outsider, but I'm really not sure about the other three.
Right now, I'm going to call Tessa Blanchard is probably the smart money. I'm going to call Chelsea Green as the winner here.
Or is what was she called? What was the other persona?
Laurel Van Ness.
Yeah, Laurel Van Ness is actually winning. Somehow Chelsea's going to go under the ring, be able to put on dodgy makeup and everything, and become Laurel Van Ness, and that's how Chelsea wins.
Wouldn't be shocking. She's done it in Indies before, so I mean, it's not out of the realm.
She's done it in the multiverse as well.
Yep. Love the multiverse, by the way.
Random shit. Oh, we never talked about the Briscoe brothers and SCU. I think the Briscoes will probably win that.
I'd say so.
Then again, because of the whole Rocky thing that they did with Kazarian and Sky, I should have realized that. Did you see that? They put that up as a separate, 13-minute video.
I did.
I think, actually, come to think of it. But then again, the problem is if they do that, nearly all the faces are winning. I don't think they do that.
What if that's the big swerve about the All-In show is basically all baby faces over?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That seems a bit obvious, though. That's the problem. And then I guess if you want to call it that, the triple main event. Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandido versus the Golden Elite. I honestly think you have Golden Elite lose.
Probably.
I think the Bucks would actually want to actually sort of not go over on, a legend like Mysterio and, two really good high-flying up-and-comers like Phoenix and Bandido.
I call Mysterio over on Matt Jackson.
Maybe.
That makes sense to me. Or they put Phoenix over.
Omega and Pentagon. My heart says Omega, but my head says Pentagon. Because this is actually a dream match.
And they
probably will never happen again.
You can't do it anywhere else. If Pentagon wins, there's no ramifications to New Japan because Pentagon doesn't work for the company.
Yes.
If Omega wins, it's just the IWGP World Champion defeating
the Lucha Underground World Champion, technically.
Which is, I mean, you basically have, it could go either way. Honestly, they could even go Broadway.
I think Kenny will win that one.
But Kenny makes the most sense.
Yeah. And then Aldis and Cody.
I will state right now, I think we have a brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
What if Cody wins thanks to Flip?
It's possible.
And then Cody goes, you know what? You get a match. Not for the NWA title. You get a match. And the main event is Flip Gordon
Neville
versus maybe Neville versus whoever they get as a mystery person.
There's not many big names that you could really use at this point.
The thing is, if it did turn out to be a swerve and it actually was Phil,
yeah,
boy, that would be an interesting reception. Like, would they mark out, but would they just go boo because the whole Cabana stuff?
If that actually happened, armchair booking right now, if that actually happened, I almost guarantee you Flip would win. Flip wins, and the end of All In is Flip Gordon being finally given his Bullet Club t-shirt.
And then, because it technically still isn't over, Sunday at 11:30, we've got the Bunny Ears podcast live with Matt Cohen and Macaulay Culkin featuring Cody. So I guess we know who won't be then on the Art of Wrestling with Colt Cabana podcast. Probably not Cody because he's on the other one. Unless he does both, of course, he clearly could. Then at half 1 Eastern time, ringside Jim Ross, along at the same time as Story Time with the Bucks. And then at 3:30, the Laps Fan podcast and Where It Ended with Robbie E. That will all be going down and all that. Cheers!
Yeah, Cage Rage is talking about Oliver Queen helping Neville helps Queen win. So
we'll bring that storyline that they could have done back in WWE. Oh no.
I mean, yeah. Hyro asked about Enzo and Big Cass. No. Just no. And no need to have either one on the show either. I think there'll be some names you're not expecting on the show. But I can't really justify saying who I think at this point because God knows it could be anybody.
Trying to see if there's
I mean, Cody went on record saying if he could book anybody for All In, he'd book Ryder. So I'd love to see that.
Oh my God, some crazy shit's happened. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. They did it better than WCW in 1998. Lethal's in the bathroom, and guess who's in the mirror? Fucking Black Machismo.
That's great. I'll be
So
watching
it
that.
looks as if it's Black Machismo Jay Lethal defending the Ring of Honor title, not not Lethal. Oh, I've got to watch the rest of this. Okay. This is going to get interesting. Also, I think I know why Nick might have got a giant case of the flu. I literally just saw him drinking a can of Monster Energy.
Oh no.
I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but it's like, oh no.
Hyro's going to
The
get the
ghost of Adam Cole has affected all in.
last. Hyro gets the last word here. Pimpinella Escarlata versus Flip Gordon.
I think AAA is doing a show anytime then anyway, so probably not. That's annoying, but probably not. Oh, it's bloody. Oh, speaking of, because it reminded me, because they actually talked about this. The 85th anniversary show had its card confirmed. Of course, LA Park isn't doing anything in terms of a mask match on it, like they were teasing originally. But because, of course, they're signing it in properly instead for AAA. So instead, Jesus Christ, I thought the anniversary show on the other one was bad. We literally have a 6-woman lucha tag match, then a 6-man tag, then a 6-man tag, then a 6-man tag for the trios titles. Then a 6-man tag with LA Park, El Hijo de LA Park and Caristico versus Diamante Azul and the Lucha Bros of Penta and King Phoenix. And then Taven and Volador versus Rush and Barbaro Cavernario in a 2 out of 3 falls tag team hair versus hair match. So there's no singles match happening at all on that show. That's coming September 14th, so I have to see what happens there. From what I do remember, and this might be something that crops up, I would say maybe at All In if you want to do a surprise.
I'm trying to take it home, Hyro.
I have heard that CMLL has got Naito in this weekend.
Wouldn't
So
be shocking.
could Naito be All In?
Possibly.
Oh, God. What if that's where we got Naito versus Jericho, the rematch?
I was about to say that.
Oh, God damn it, Chris. Cancel your show.
It's time to take the show home. So
2.5 hours, not too bad.
God, we gotta get that. We gotta cut that down in 2 hours at least. Brian Alvarez gets the last word because this is
Brian Alvarez.
He makes the show. He said, I'd quit too if I damn near killed myself for months to get a guy over as a babyface, only for them to turn him heel. Yep. Indeed.
Destination X is going to happen. Oh, there you go.
Okay, Harry still gets the last word. So that's going to be your show. Monday show, we're going to try to make it 2 hours. This coming Monday show is actually going to be right after All In. And it is actually the... Can I say that?
Last show we do
live. No. It is the second to last show that I will be doing for the Monday Wrestling Popcast before I venture off into Hollywood for 2 months. needless to say.
Oh, so we are doing the go home show before Hell in a Cell then.
It looks like it, unless something happens, which it shouldn't be. So Becca, so that's your show. Once again, everyone that joined us last night, or 2 nights ago in this case, for our Oscar prediction podcast, we really appreciate that. We'll be back at the end of the month to do that. It's one of the only things I'm going to be breaking my no podcast rule for the month of October, September, because of the fact that it's such a crucial time. I'd love to cover the wrestling, but the only problem is I work on Saturdays and Sundays and Fridays, so it makes it very hard. So that's gonna be your show.
I didn't realize that TGI Fridays and Cracker Barrel are actually sponsoring this show.
Yes, they are. There's actually going to be a special All-In meet and greet with the Bucks and a mystery guest at TGI Fridays close to All-In.
The best bit that should happen is Wendy should sponsor, and it's like, yeah, screw you, Samoa Joe. Wendy!
All right. So
did you see Wendy's tweet, by the way?
Yes.
About the math? Samoa Joe! I realized I never said that. I've got to do my quota.
Okay. So that's gonna be your show. This week we've got AJ's movie reviews. We've got Versus. I know we just put up Versus for the Anchorman battle yesterday, so check that out if you haven't yet. Sip and Snack coming on Thursday. I think we have more Ashley content coming up this week as well. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I was umming and ahhing about whether to do anything about the gaming and all the bloody stories that happened this weekend. But then Streets of Rage 4 and Cyberpunk had a 49-minute gameplay demo brought out to the public, so I'll probably be talking about them instead.
That's going to be your win.
Trying to overshadow the shooting and everything that was happening. Fuck you, Wasp!
That's going to be your Wednesday show. Sip and Snack on Thursday. We've got, like I said, AJ's movie reviews this weekend. A lot of stuff coming. Of course, we have All In on Saturday. Live podcast. Ashley and myself talking all things All In.
Are we starting for the pay-per-view, or are we starting from WGN?
Of course, we're starting at WGN.
Right. So just before 6 Eastern then, guys.
Yep. So be ready for that. We're going to have some fun with All In. I'm going to enjoy that greatly. And then we're going to be able to go live for that. And, of course, that's going to be your videos for this weekend. So that's going to be your show. Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter. Ashley is my name, UK. It's in the description and stuff.
Follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney. Follow the network at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. If you have any ideas for Sip and Snack Versus and the other regular segments on this network, feel free to shoot me an email, siroanddisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Izzy even went, suck it. What a idiot.